Hi everybody and welcome back. In today's video, if God is all powerful, why doesn't he stop bad things from happening? If God really is all loving, why do things like the Holocaust, murder, stealing, mistreatment, abuse happen? Couldn't he stop them? Shouldn't he stop them? Here's why he doesn't. The greatest virtue that God has given us is love. This is illustrated in the Bible many times. In the book of Colossians, Paul writes to his readers and he tells them, he speaks to them about kindness, humility, patience, meekness, compassion. And then he says, and above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, in that great chapter on love, Paul again talks about the three great virtues, faith, hope, and love. And he says the greatest of these is love. And the Bible says that the God that we serve desires for all of us to love each other. And that's the highest good that we could do for another, because that is what God has done for us. But one thing that necessarily has to accompany love is free will. Love has to be a choice. Otherwise, it's not love at all. The beauty about love is that it's a chosen virtue. The most amazing thing about God's love for us is that God chose to love us, even though sometimes we don't understand why. So one thing that necessarily has to accompany love is a freedom of choice. If I don't have a choice in that love, then I'm no better than a robot. I may be compelled by a machine to treat you nicely, but it isn't love because I'm just complying. I'm not choosing. And God's supreme goal for all of us seems to be that, number one, we love God with all our heart, our soul, and our mind, and then we love our neighbors that way. So if you're asking for God to stop all the bad and evil things that happen in the world, you're asking for God to take away your choice, because while we have the choice to love, and that's the most beautiful thing that we can do, that choice necessitates that we can choose the opposite. Why doesn't God stop the murderer from buying a gun? Why doesn't God stop the alcoholic from being able to purchase alcohol? Why doesn't God stop the terrorist from making the choices that he makes? Because to do so would be to violate free will. And if your free will is violated, what you're asking for is actually a denial of love and the possibility to love, and to love God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. You're asking for a different entity than humanity altogether. And so remember, when we ask for a world without evil, we are also asking for a world without love. And God never intended to make a world full of pre-programmed robot do-gooders that would do whatever he said and always do good and not be able to choose to love him as he had chosen to love them. Choice is essential, and God longs for us to choose to love him. So today you have a choice as well, and you do have the choice to do evil. And that's exactly the way that God designed it, because without that choice, then you would have no ability to love him or to love the people who are around you.